Hey everyone, Carmine Dinisco here on the launch pad. And, I had a guest today and something happened with their travels and had it set to record. So I figured I'd jump on. And, I always have a few subjects or things that I want to talk about with you listeners, which I am grateful for. You guys sticking with our show for the last 8 seasons and I appreciate that. So yeah, so there was we had a guest, which we'll be bringing them on. These days, if you're listening to this at any other point, but it's currently end of October. I think it's the 23rd of October, 2025. So if you're listening to this in 2028 or 27 or further out, right now there is a government shutdown going on. And as with anything that's run with government employees, which I feel terrible for those characters out there that just they're out there, they're working. And some of them, or most of them aren't getting paid, but they are important to the industry running the United States. So if you're traveling and you're out in the airports, the TSA agents, the air traffic controllers, people that, are paid by the government, they're up there and they're working, but they're not getting paid. And, they're starting to feel the brunt of it. So some of the airports or some of the travel are delayed. There's things happening. So if you are traveling or they were traveling, anyway. So anyway, our guest was not able to, we tried doing it from the airport. He was actually stuck in the airport, but we just didn't have a good enough signal. We were freezing up and things were happening. So anyway, so I wanted to jump on anyway, just to kind of talk about, so as we progress, into October, into November, we start getting into the holiday seasons, which we all love and we hate. Holiday seasons are a little hectic, but they're a lot of fun. I love getting and giving gifts, and as most of us do, but it is a little hectic doing that. So, a lot of people who listen to this show have products, and many times here at Earmark or even at the United Inventors Association, we field questions many, many times on I have product, I have inventory, I just have not been able to sell it. I haven't been able to get in front of the right people. I can't get someone to carry it for me or a retailer. I'm trying to get it on Amazon, but it's such a big hassle. So, um, selling the product sometimes turns into, people they're working or they're not home or they can't spend full time on it. A lot of inventors, it's not their full time job. They would like it to be their full time job, but it's not yet because they haven't sold all their inventory or they haven't been able to get that product into the mainstream. Many products are just awesome, but people need to know about it. A friend of mine, a good friend of mine, Mr. Bob Circosta, um, who started HSN. For any of you out there, look him up. The $6 billion man started the TV shopping craze. His saying, and it holds true today, that nothing happens until someone sells something. And it's such a great, quick sentence to really wake you up. We could have a great product. We could have the manufacturing in place. We could have everything ready to go, but we need to sell our products, whether it's pre-sales, whether it's on Kickstarter or wherever it is. We need to sell our product, and I wanted to talk a little bit about some different ways. If you do have inventory or you're planning on getting some, or maybe you're doing some pre-sales, I wanted to talk about a few different ways to get your product out into the market. Maybe it's going to sell one, maybe you'll sell thousands, but the more balls you have up in the air, the more chances you have to sell your product. Now, I don't assume to think that all of you people can do all the things I'm going to talk about, or you can hardly do too many of them. Again, a lot of us are busy out there. We're working. We have kids. We have work. We have school. We have so many different things that I don't want to piss anybody off by going, this freaking guy Carmine, man, he thinks I could just run out there and do all these things. I don't think that. And not at all. I'm just trying to give a few things or a few pointers or a few ideas that I've run into with my products, with some of our clients' products, some things that work, some things you may have tried. I just want to give some information. I have the time. I have it on my calendar. So I figured I would turn the microphones on and do that. As I promised, as usual, I won't talk too much today. This is a big subject, though. I did want to kind of cover it real quick. I don't want to go too long, but any of you out there, if I don't cover enough or I don't cover everything and you're like, what about this? Send me an email. I'd love to update the next segment or give you an answer back, or if I can connect you with somebody that can help you, please let me know. I do want to mention one of the people that we work with that most of you know, she's awesome. Kelly Shea started a podcast, and I want possibly, if any of you haven't listened to it, I would ask you to listen to it. It's actually great. Not that I was surprised. Everything Kelly does is awesome. It's called Generations of Genius, which I think I love the name. And, you know, she is really doing a great job. She's got only 2 episodes out there, or 1 episode each week's on Thursday. She's going to launch one. So if you get a chance, listen into the podcast, and I think you will love it. Generations of Genius, Kelly Shea from the UIA. As if you don't know her, you will soon, but it's a great show. It really is. So congratulations, Kelly. I love it, and wish you all the best. So let's get back to what we're talking about. So let's talk a little bit about if you have inventory, or if you know you're going to have inventory soon. So let's talk a little bit about if you don't have inventory, you can do a few things. You can, I don't know about starting a Kickstarter. You don't want to start a Kickstarter. Kickstarters are tough. I know the guys over at Kickstarter, and it's a very tough program these days to run and launch. It's very costly. But if you have the ability, you know, you can either hire a firm to help you, or you can try it. I just saying that Kickstarter is a tough program. But if you do have some inventory, there's a couple of ways, or inventory on its way, as I mentioned. There's a couple of ways to do this. So what you can start doing is do some pre-sales, set up a website. Doesn't have to be extravagant. Do some pre-sales. If you have some pictures of your product, it's being shipped. It's being manufactured right now, and you should have it soon. You don't want to do pre-sales if you haven't really developed a product, or you haven't started manufacturing it yet, because that could be months. And you know, it's, unless you tell people, be brutally honest with them. You know, hey, if you purchase this product, I don't know when it's going to be delivered. Or you could say, just give me your email address. I'll let you know when the product is on the way, and I can take your credit card then, or something like that. But if you do know, and the product is on the way, there's nothing wrong with taking pre-sales. Set up you don't need an extravagant website. Just set it up. Talk a little bit about the site. Maybe have some video. Maybe have some pictures of the product. People want to get to know you as the inventor. Give as much information as possible, and let people know, hey, listen, this is currently being manufactured. I'm giving a small discount because of that, and you will be the first ones to have this. And just let people know. You know, start pushing it out on social media, get your friends to push it out, tell everybody you can about it. Again, if you have the time to do these things, pre-sales really sometimes works fairly well. You could do that. If you have product on its way. If you do have product on its way and you have a few samples, you can start talking to some wholesalers. I wouldn't talk to retailers yet, because most likely you don't have a big enough order being manufactured or on its way, and you haven't fully tested the product yet. So it's one of those things, if you do go to a retailer, you can show them the product, and they'll look at it. Most likely they're going to want to make some changes. So even the reason I say that, I might back up a little bit, is that the order that you currently have on its way here or being manufactured won't be the order that goes into retail, is what I mean. So it's going to be totally separate. So you could be showing people, or in retail, as their product, but I don't want to say you're wasting your time. I don't mean it like that. But if you want to sell the product that you are going to be receiving in the very near future, that's not the product that the retailers are going to be purchasing. And most likely they really won't purchase it until you show some sales. So it might be one of those things where the chicken before the egg or whatever. But there's wholesalers out there. There's people that are selling product into stores, convenience stores or different types of stores, even people that are selling on Amazon and on large retail sites. You have people that take product in. I mean, I call them wholesalers, but you can call them brokers. You could call them really whatever you want. There's people out there that they sell product and they don't manufacture themselves, or they might make some of the products themselves, but they look for products to sell. So you're selling your product for $20. They're going to say, "Oh, this is awesome product. Either you're going to pay them $3 or $5 off the sale, or they're going to add the $3 or $5 onto the retail price." But either way, the broker is using their connections, their technology, their other products to bring eyeballs onto your product. So you pay for that. There's nothing wrong with doing that. I mean, that's a lot of ways that business is done. So if you have product, and this also works if you have inventory, guys. I'm not saying that it's only for people that have product coming in. I'm just trying to save some of the inventors or people that have product that's almost here or being manufactured, save them kind of a headache. But if you do have current product, these wholesalers, that I call them brokers, that some people call them, there's ways to get your product to them. Send them, you can contact them. If you're having an issue or you're not sure how to approach them, or if they're a broker or not, get in touch with us here. And I may know them. I'll be able to tell you right away if they're a broker or a reseller or who they are, and maybe the best way to approach. We also have consultants and people that can help you too. We even do the things that I'm talking about today. We even do that here at Earmark, but I don't want you to spend the money on it. We have programs, we have consulting fees, we have all these things. But that's why I'm on this microphone talking to you about it. I'd rather see you keep that money in your pocket. Again, some of us just don't have the time, but do these things. Being able to get that product in front of the right people. There's ways to do it. Just don't try to do. I might mention 50 things here. Don't try to do all 50 right away, because it's overwhelming sometimes, especially when you have a good product. It's very frustrating having a product, it's good, people will like it in the market, and you're like, how do I get this out there, or why aren't people buying it? And a lot of times it's not you, it's not their product, it's just getting in front of the right person. Hopefully you guys are all shaking your head going, yeah, tell us something new, Carmine. Hey, listen guys, this happens to me. I think a product is great for this niche market, and then all of a sudden, a couple of months later, I'm like, what's going on here? And I have to pivot. All of a sudden, it's for a different market. So those are things that you will find out on your own, and be open-minded as you learn what's happening, with that feedback. So anyway, there's some brokers out there. This is the first thing I'll talk about for if you have inventory, or if you have inventory coming, start talking to those types of brokers. You could also talk a little bit, and I'll get into the social media aspect of it, where influencers are kind of like brokers. And I don't want to mix the two together because it's a little bit different. But influencers are also kind of like brokers. They're using their social media connections to sell your product, whether they're taking a commission or you're just paying them straight to, talk about your product to the masses. So some influencers get paid by how many people they're connected to, whether it's 10,000, 10 million, 5 million, 100,000, whatever that is, you pay for that. Or they work on a commission basis and a little bit of a payment. So if you send a product, and a lot of influencers, super smart. I love influencers because they've really learned to take on a product that fits not only their personality, it fits their show, it fits the way they do things. Because if they just take on a bunch of products that really don't fit their audience, people stop listening. And it doesn't help you either as the product owner to have the wrong influencer selling your product, because it kind of doesn't work. So it could be on a performance basis, where you might say, hey, listen, for every unit you sell, you're going to get X amount. It's hard to find influencers that do that. It is cool if they do that. I think it's great. There might be a small payment, or it might be, hey, listen, we love this product. I'm going to be able to sell the hell out of this thing. So don't worry about paying me. Whatever it is, work on whatever you feel most comfortable with. And every influencers are different. The one thing I want to tell you about influencers, I'm getting off track here. I switched over to my social media stuff. Is a lot of influencers have agents or managers. So when you're connecting to that influencer, if they're not going to get back to you or they're not getting back to you, it's because they're not supposed to. Ask if you do ask them, or you email them or somehow message them, ask if they have an agent. And if you can, and if they do, could you have their information? A lot of influencers, they won't message you right back. Some of them will. I don't want you to think they think that they're high and mighty. It's just their agent or their manager has told them, listen, anybody asked about this, just send them over to me, or don't get back to them. So there are agencies, and there are agents, there's managers for these influencers that you might be connecting with. It kind of makes it easier sometimes when you do make contact, because the person you're talking to is strictly talking about business. You know what I mean? Where the influencer, of course, knows about business, but they're busy doing what they do. And sometimes they won't have a huge amount of time to talk to you about the product and sending this to me. Hey, where's your address and things like that. Whereas the agent, that's their job, to interact with you to get products for those influencers. Sometimes they have 100 influencers under their belt, under their control. So, if you say, hey, I have this widget, and the agent or the manager says, oh, that doesn't really fit into Jim Jones as the person you were connected to. I could see where you thought that, but I do have 3 other influencers that are in that market that I think would be a better fit. And they give you information, you go check them out, and you're like, wow, they have 1 million followers. Let's do that one instead. So sometimes what we start off with and what we're looking for, if you get a good agency, they want to make money. They're in business to make money. It'll really help, because you're interacting with a business entity and not just the influencer. Whereas we know the influencer are business people. I mean, they're awesome at what they do, but some of them just want to do what they do and have the agency take care of the business aspect of it. So influencers are great. They're kind of, like I said, like wholesalers. They're like people that have Amazon marketplaces. You also have, let me go here, my list here that I wrote down. You also have websites. Now I want to tell you, like, a sponsor that we have, and I'm part of it, is Mercury Shopping. The Mercury.shop is a shopping site for innovative products. Now we just launched it. It's not the prettiest site. We're slowly adding products every week, but there are shopping sites like this. You have to make sure that they're reputable, that you're going to get paid, and make sure that things are. But our Mercury site, Mercury.shop, is a site to list innovative inventions and products and cool stuff. So we started that because we were running into the same issue as all of you were, or not most, a lot of you were, where should we sell our products? But here's the cool part about why we started Mercury Shopping, because many buyers for retailers and wholesalers that were looking for products would approach us here at Earmark, and also the UIA. They would approach us and say, hey, what do you guys got? We have shelf space, or we're doing a special, or we're doing this next year, and we're looking for this type of product, or this type of, categories of products. So a lot of times we would have to, go into our system and break down with a report. And I'm not good with Excel, and somebody would, exporting, and we'd have this list of products, and we'd send it over to the buyer, who whatever. And then the buyer would say, yeah, this is cool, but where are all the pictures? Where can I see it? And so we said, hey, listen, let's put this online, where it's a live shopping site, but it's also where we can send buyers and wholesalers and influencers and people that are looking for products to represent, people looking for products to put on their shelves, And now we can just send them over to the Mercury site where they can see products that we currently have in our system, and then see the pictures, see what the list price is, see who the inventor is, and things like that. So the Mercury website, covers several different reasons of why we launched it. The biggest being is it's an outlet for you, the inventors, innovators, the people that have products, even like myself. I love putting some of our clients' products up there. I love seeing them up there when they're selling. We can really push them out. We just today, the 23rd, today that I'm recording this, we had a magazine out west reach out to us. They saw several of the products that were on the site. They asked us if they can talk about those products in their magazine. So it really works because pictures and video and being able to just go out on their own and find those products, look at them, spend as much time as they want, and then jot that information down, reach out to us. It really helps that way, as with just sending them a list of products and they go, oh yeah, this doesn't really, help me at all. So there's ways to do that. So look for shopping sites that you can list your products. Don't put your product on 10 different sites. Find a couple sites, one or two at the most, that are doing good on advertising or that are up and coming, and make sure that those sites are reputable, meaning that they're not going to lower the price on you for sales. They're not going to try to undercut things. They're going to, you're going to make sure you're going to get your sales, going to get paid on it. Because you don't want a site that you post your product on and then they change the price to be lower than your Amazon price or lower than a price that a retailer might see. They're only with your permission they can do that, because what happens is this: a retailer is looking for a product, and maybe they go to a site that has dropped your product down on a sale basis. Say you want $24.99 for your product, and they said, hey, listen, let's do $19.99. We'll blow some of these out. And then boom, a retailer sees it and they are looking at that price at $19.99. It's very hard for you when they call you or contact you to say, yeah, but that was just the sales price. We want $24.99. It's just, it kind of messes up the conversation from the beginning. So you really want to watch what you do. I'm not saying don't put your product on sale, but it has to be done the right way. Big, bold letters, blowout sale, weekly sale, a reason for the sale, or you use coupons. So the price is listed at the right price, but you share out coupon codes that when people are buying, they punch in that code and they get 10% off or something like that. So just be careful on the sites that you list your product on that are not under your control. And that's kind of, again, why we started the Mercury shopping site. So it's themercury.shop. And at the bottom, if you're thinking about, hey, maybe I should list my price, you can go down on the bottom, click on the link that says sell on Mercury and fill out the form. And we can take a look at it. But this is not a sales thing. So there's a couple different ways when you do that. So shopping sites is a great way to show your product in that ways. You also have eBay and Etsy, and obviously we talked about it, Amazon. But if you don't want to run Amazon yourself, there's companies out there that will do it for you. I know a couple good ones. You don't have, a lot of them only take on $1 million clients, but there's some out there that we know of that work with small fries like me. And like, inventors. And when I say small fries, I don't mean it in a bad way. It's just that, compared to these big guys out there that have, 2,000 products on Amazon, I mean, that's not us. It really isn't. So, having people out there that know about Amazon that will help us is great, to know that there's guys out there or companies out there that will work with us little guys. So we have some people like that. So again, even Walmart Marketplace and Target Marketplace, those are tough. I love Walmart Marketplace. I know a lot of people that work at Walmart and a lot of products that are on Walmart. I think they're awesome. They've really come around from bygone days of, when you brought your product there, they just suck the life out of you. It's not like that there. I mean, for several years, they've been really rebuilding, rebranding, and they love inventors at Walmart. So I just want you guys to know that if you do approach Walmart, they're very, very helpful now when you do those things. And I'm just going through a couple of these. I might do a full show maybe on this if I get some feedback and you guys want to do that. One of the best places, and I only, again, I'm only going to record for a few more minutes. If you go online, and you may need somebody to help you with this, is TikTok Shop and Instagram shopping. I mean, yeah, obviously Facebook marketing is big, but it's more of used products and things like that. TikTok Shop and Instagram. If you don't know about those, or you're not sure, like I don't know too much about them, they're killing it. So if you can get your product onto TikTok and Instagram, now that doesn't mean that you have to go out and make videos and all that stuff. You may want to approach some people to do that for you. But I mean, these things are killing it. Their products are selling. The shopping is much better. The systems that they put in place, the platforms work so good. So that might be something that you might want to look into, is TikTok and Instagram. I think Instagram, you have to start, a Facebook shopping thing and it connects into it. But we may do a webinar series at the UAA just on the social media platforms to sell products. I think that would be pretty cool to do because I would love to learn more about it. I can't even spell TikTok, guys. I tell you the truth. I really need to learn more about that kind of stuff. There's also other times, depending on your type of product that you have. And again, this is if you have time. There's flea markets and craft fairs. You could do the pop-up shops at malls. Malls are looking for content. They're looking for people to come in there and fill up spaces. They might even give you free space on the weekends to go in there and sell your products. What you can do is, find a couple people in your area that have products, because there's a lot of us out here, and go into the mall and set up some tables. So, I mean, calling the malls and flea markets and craft fairs, there's ways to do that. There is no, nothing wrong with doing that. But again, it fits the certain product. It really does. It depends on the product to do that. If your product's demonstrable and it's something that people will freak out when they see and they love, then it's something you might want to think about, especially if you like doing those things. It's pretty cool. So then all those and I'm just going through this stuff quick because there's so much. There's email marketing campaigns. There's affiliate marketing. We talked a little bit about that with the influencers, but affiliate marketing is a little different. You might want to look that up, and it's people that have the huge email lists and like newsletters and email lists, and they add your information. They add the link to your product into their email list, and they're sending it out to 1 million people, and they work on a percentage of people that are going to click on your link and then make a sale. So you can look into that, and you can ask them what their performance rates are, what their open rate is, and things like that. And I'm going through this quick because I only have a few more minutes. But I just want to let you know there's a lot of ways for you to sell your product. I'm going through this super quick. It's very discouraging when you come into the holidays, you have product, because I could guarantee there's people out there that want what you have. So let's figure out a way to get your product in front of people. I'm going to hang up right now, but I am going to cover this more in depth in pieces on some of our upcoming shows. And I'm going to talk to Kelly, who runs our webinar series, to try to find some people who specialize in TikTok and Instagram and some of these other ways that we can get your product and sell it for help. So I appreciate you guys listening in today. Sorry, I'm doing it pretty quick. Again, I wasn't planned to do this. We had a guest. I just wanted to kind of cover this quickly. I do have a few meetings coming up, so I'm gonna kind of shut the mic off. I wanted to go through this real quick. And again, we don't have a lot of products up there, but please check out the mercury.shop. There's not a lot of products up there. We're adding products every day, but they are full of inventors just like you on that platform. So please, if you can support those inventors, I beg you to do so. So for myself, Carmen Denisco, for all of you listeners, again, I appreciate you sticking with us, and we will catch you next time on the Launchpad. You all take care.